All right, guys. David Lugo along with Andrew Morgan. Here gonna recap. We're gonna preview Week 8 Packers at Jaguars. So I'll go ahead and let you start out, Andrew. What do you think about this weekend in Jacksonville?
Um, so I don't remember the stat, but I know we're not really good in Florida, either in Tampa Bay or Jacksonville. Seems like we always go there and lose. Um, we should win. This is a game we should win easily, but people are calling this the trap game because we got Detroit next week. Um, so that kind of makes me nervous, and then the spread was kind of making me nervous. It was at 4.5, and then I think it dropped down to 3.5 or something like that, like yesterday, the day before yesterday.
Well,
And
that's the only reason why it dropped is because all the bets are heavy on the Packers.
yeah, so I don't know, but that 4.5 was a weird number in my opinion. So I was like, "Eesh." But the good thing is, it seems like we have majority of our people back healthy now.
Yeah.
Um, So I think, well, I don't know. I haven't seen the injury report today, but Devontae Wyatt was back practicing, so that's good. He
He's
might
still
not play.
questionable, right?
Yeah, he's still questionable, so
Yeah.
might not play this week, but he's looking good for that Detroit game, so that's gonna be good. Yeah, like I said, Jags are not a good team, so it should be one of those games where it should be an easy dub, but sometimes I feel like the Packers play down to their competition, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. It's a game we should win, but I think this is the one game that's a little scary. Um, AUGA, we'll bring you up here in a little bit. I think it's a little scary. I think I know the both of us are not that big on Trevor Lawrence, but at the end of the day, he is a franchise quarterback. And on the two wins that they have, he actually did look good in those games. Last week, I think they ran the ball very well against the Patriots. I think they ran very physical, so we got to be ready for that. Their defense, from what I hear, their safeties are not that great. So I do expect Watson to have a big game, at least maybe like over 100 yards, probably. Um, and I could see Watson getting that like on 3 catches, if I'm being honest. I heard their safeties are not that great, but um, yeah, I agree with you. Every time we go down in Florida, it seems like we play down to that competition or we just don't show up. But I think if we play 4 quarters of football, we should win the game pretty. Well, I don't want to say easily, but we should without stress, I guess. Without
Yeah,
stress, we should
yeah,
win. But if it's going to be one of those games where we decide to only play one half or we decide to turn the ball over and keep them in the game, then yeah, I think they can go. I think we can walk up in there and then leave with a loss. But I think the good news about that is defensively, you haven't really seen the defense like not show up for a game, right? Like all year long. I mean, I think we've had like a quarter or 2 quarters a game where the defense didn't show up, but there hasn't really been a game where the defense just didn't show up all day long. So I think we got that going for us. I think uh I think if they do win, it's going to be because of our mistakes, not because they're a better team.
yeah. No doubt. You mentioned the run game. I know we gave up 100 something yards to Joe Mixon last week, but I mean they got good running backs in Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. So they're. I mean, if that's the way they want to do it again, like hey, let the running backs try to beat us and let's keep Trevor Lawrence on lock, and that's the game plan. I think that game plan will work as well. But I would like to see that run defense kind of step up a little bit more this week. Um, because yeah, that Joe Mixon outing was crazy. Um, yeah, as far as the Jaguars defense, I'm not too. Like I said, our offense should walk up and down the field on that defense. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest, I think you will have one of those Jordan Love turnovers in the game. I do expect one of those, but overall, I think our offense should, like I said, walk up and down the field on that Jaguars defense.
Yeah, I heard Matt LaFleur talk about the Jaguars too. He was saying that they have a lot of weapons and that they have a very fast tight end. So I think the tight end is the only thing that I would put a question mark on. I know the tight ends have that has been one area where I feel like when the quarterback does go to the tight end, it is there against this Packers defense. But so hopefully we'll stop that. But yeah, I think even if they have somewhat of a little bit of run game, but we shut down Lawrence, we'll be all right. Like we should walk out with the victory. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those games where I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a walk in the park because it is a road game. It's down in Jacksonville. It's a long travel. So yeah, we'll see, man. And it's a 1 o'clock game. The good news is they're getting towards the end of their 1 o'clock games or noon your time. But I think we got maybe one more, and then after that we start playing primetime games. So that's good. Um, but Yeah. What else did you want to touch on this?
Do you agree that this is a quote unquote trap game? Do you buy into the trap game narrative?
Well, it depends what you mean by trap game. I do think um I do think if the Packers don't show up, yes, we can lose this game. But as far
As far as looking forward to Detroit, people are saying that since we got Detroit, excuse me, that this game is easy enough that people could be looking forward towards that Detroit game, and that's how people get kind of caught up.
well, I can see fans looking towards Detroit, but I don't see the team. I think the team knows, hey, we got to go down there and play. I think Matt LaFleur will make sure of that. I think the addition of Robert Saleh will help too, but we can get into that a little bit later. But no, I think the Packers will be prepared. I think the Packers will be prepared. How are they going to handle the heat? That's the main thing. But I think it was pretty hot down in Tennessee, and the Packers did well there. So I mean, but no, I don't think the team will overlook the Jags, man. I don't. But I do think the Jags are going to come in ready to play. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like for example, it was a few years ago. I remember Jair was talking trash to the Chicago receiver, and he got burned. And then after the game, like Jair said, like, "Oh yeah, I might have underestimated him a little bit." Like that's the kind of shit that you don't want going into this game because we are going to get beat if you underestimate the Jags. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he sometimes he has his days where he's just on. And if he has one of those days and we're turning the ball over, I mean, yeah, man, like it could be a close game. We could probably even get a loss. But I do think the Packers are a very good team. So it's very hard for me to see them losing this game. But I think this is the first game of the year where people are saying the Packers are going to just run all over the opposing team. No one was really saying that against the Eagles. No one was saying that against the Colts or Titans just simply because, oh, look who it is. Hi. She didn't want to say hi. Okay. No, but against the Titans and the Colts, we had Malik Willis. So no one was like, oh, the Packers are going to run them over. After that, we had the Vikings. No one said we are going to run them over. They were undefeated. Everyone thought they were going to beat us. And then the game after that was the Rams. I mean, I don't think anyone saw us running over them either. I mean, and then after that, what? Texans was after that? No, Cardinals. Cardinals was maybe the one game where people were like, yeah, the Packers should have a good day. And we did. And we did. So I see us going into Jacksonville. I see J-Love getting at least 2 passing touchdowns. It's just a matter of like we don't take our foot off the gas. I mean, if we take our foot off the gas, and yeah, anything can happen. But I definitely don't see that with Halfley. Maybe with LaFleur, but definitely not with Halfley. So
Yeah. That's the thing. I feel like we always play down to our competition. So that's one thing we can't do. We gotta keep the foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think as long as we do that, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not like this is to me. This is a game like we should definitely like. I'm not going to like, man, what could the Jags do to beat the Packers? Like all these other games, I could have been like, okay, this team could done this to beat the Packers. This is the game. I'm like, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not worried about as far as the talent on each side of the ball.
Yeah, we got a comment. Too Legit says Jaden Reed doesn't do well against man coverage, and Jags use it a ton. Do you think he does well? I think Reed does well. There's a lot of people saying that you should bet on Reed having an anytime touchdown during this game. He is due for a touchdown. I think the past 2 games he hasn't had one. And I honestly kind of disagree with that statement too. I don't think Reed is that bad in man coverage.
But the thing is, I'm not going to debate if he is or isn't. The thing is, though, that's the one thing about Packers. Okay, say he is bad against man coverage. We got Watson and Dobbs that are going to, but then they're going to have to shell. If that's the case, then their safeties are going to have to shell over to watch over the top on Watson, which will open up the middle for
Yeah.
Jaden Reed.
I think you're going to see a lot of passes to Dobbs over the middle of the field this game. And then D-Loop or Delp says y'all should be able to take advantage of their secondary. I had mentioned that maybe like 5 minutes ago that they don't have a great secondary. So, yeah, I definitely see us Watson going off for 100 yards. But even if Watson goes off in man coverage and then they make adjustments and start running some zone or put an extra man on Watson, it is, like you said, Andrew, it's going to open up the field for Dobbs and Reed. So I do think Reed –
I think Tucker Kraft is going to have a game too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have a lot of people you got to cover.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can game. That's the one thing good about the Packers. Like, we don't quote like they always say, who's just number one receiver. Jaden Reed's our best receiver, but you can't just game plan for Jaden Reed because Jordan Love distributes the ball through all these receivers, and anybody can beat you on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
So
I actually think this would be a very good game for the Packers to go 5 wide, attack that secondary. Like, I mean. The year we won the Super Bowl against the Steelers, we did a lot of 5 wide in the playoffs, and it worked. That year we had like all of our receivers you had a guard, and it was just nearly impossible for not just the Steelers but everyone else we played in the playoffs that year. Like, it was hard for them. So, like I said, as long as we show up, we should win.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I will say this though: if we drop it. I mean, right now you got the Vikings who just lost another game. Like, you got to capitalize on that. Like, this is a time where, hey, okay, like
we could do something if we win this game. Does Detroit play this week or are they off?
No, they play, but they got an easy game. Well, let's not call it easy. It's NFL, but I think they play the Titans.
Yeah. But let's just say, okay, they win. But then next week you go to Detroit. That could be.
Well, we're home. We're home next week against Detroit.
Yeah, but that could be for first place.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, I say first place because
it would be tied for first place.
But we would be up there, right? We wouldn't be the game behind that we are right now. So don't drop you can't drop the easy or quote unquote easy ones that we should win, you know, because when you do that, you start having to. Later in the season, some of these tougher games are going to be must win, and it's stuff like that. So, take care of business with these games you should win.
Yeah, the good news is like it's not just the Packers who have a brutal like stretch coming up. The Bears have a brutal. The Lions have a brutal stretch on their schedule coming up. So I think the Vikings might have the easiest one.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, the Vikings are probably the ones that are the least trustworthy, in my opinion. I mean, I don't trust Caleb yet either, but I mean, they do have a good defense. The Rams looked very good against the Vikings, but I will say this: the Vikings got robbed against the Rams. I'm sorry to say that they got robbed, though. I know there's not a guarantee.
They got that call. I don't know if they got robbed because they still had to go down the field and score two extra.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee they still win that game. I want to make that clear. But
yeah, because they still had to score and get their 2 extra points. But yes, that was a face mask. It was definitely a face mask. Because the Rams were up 8, so they still had to score and get the extra 2-point version. So
we have a comment on YouTube. I don't know. It says, is Emmanuel Wilson the future of the Vikings? I don't know why they said Vikings. I think.
Like, are you thinking maybe that's going to be like Emmanuel Wilson's going to go to the Vikings after?
I don't know.
No, I don't think he's the future of the Vikings. I'm going to answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know if you're asking if he's going to be like the next Aaron Jones, but no, I don't think so either.
But if you're asking the future of the Packers, I don't think so either on that one either.
Oh, he's like, sorry, you guys were talking about the Vikings.
Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah, we're
future of the Packers.
future of the Packers.
Yeah, I mean,
We
yeah,
signed Jacobs to 4 years. I think Jacobs is a future.
and then they'll probably draft somebody younger after in the next few years. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the future of the Packers. Now he's a good piece, but yeah, like you said, we signed Josh Jacobs for 4 years, so we have 4 years of Josh Jacobs that we have to get through at least.
All right. Yeah. So, anything else you want to touch on that before we jump on Robert Saleh?
Nah, I'm good, man. Like I said, should be an easy dub in my opinion.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. So I want to jump into Robert Saleh. I know I texted you earlier in the week, like, hey, like there's chance he's going to join us, and then sure enough, he did get hired.
Did he get hired, or he was just there for practice?
No. He showed up to practice one day, and then I think the next day he was in Packers gear. And
yeah, but I don't think he's officially hired.
Well, I think you got to go watch it. Go watch the interview with Matt LaFleur. I think they asked him, they bugged him, and he was like, "Gosh, dang, you want to know everything." And then he said yes. He said yes that they hired him. Supposedly, he's going to be helping the Packers Monday through Thursday, and then he's going to be going home with his family Friday through Sunday. I think Matt LaFleur said it's a part-time job, and he's pretty much just going to be helping LaFleur, like
on the offensive side.
Yeah, like just to tell him, like, hey, this is what defenses might throw against you and things like that. Which I'm all for. Now, the one thing I was not for him going and just changing the defense. Like, Matt LaFleur made that clear. I think they asked him, like, is he going to be able to help on the defense? And Matt LaFleur said no. I like what the defense got going on. I trust Halfley. He's going to come in and help us with the offense, which I'm okay with, because there are times where, I don't know if you noticed this, Andrew, during the games, Matt LaFleur will go to the side by himself and just kneel down and look at his iPad, like when he can't figure out like how to attack a defense. Like there's times where you can see Matt LaFleur struggling. Even like he is great at offensive play calling, but there are times where you'll see him go off to the side and like try to figure it out. And I think Saleh would help him with that. Like, hey, okay, you can't figure this out because this is what they're doing. And then, like, I think that will help LaFleur out a little bit. And LaFleur said it's very good for him and it's very good for Saleh, because if Saleh does want to be if he wants to be a head coach again, he is going to need to increase his knowledge on the offense a little bit. I mean, the whole time he was with the Jets, the offense sucked, man. Even with Aaron Rodgers there, the offense still sucks. So, like, if he could just get his knowledge up in the offense, I could see him getting another head coaching job. And then in the meantime, it helps out the Packers too, man, because like if LaFleur can figure out, okay, like this is what defense is going to throw me, I'm going to attack it this way. Yeah, dude, that's scary, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. When I saw that, I was like, okay, because at first I thought when I saw Saleh was in there, I was like, man, we're gonna start stepping on people's toes, because like you're bringing in somebody to help on the defensive side of the ball with Jeff Halfley, even though Halfley's been doing a great job. Like, why are we doing this? And then I saw it was for offensive side of the ball, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then I forgot that Halfley and Robert Saleh know each other, because Jeff Halfley was on Robert Saleh's defense in San Francisco, I think it was.
Yeah, I think Saleh was the defensive coordinator and Halfley was the defensive back coach.
Yeah, so it's like they all kind of know each other. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I think it's a great move. I was watching something. I can't remember what it was, but somebody had brought up the point, like, what if we make – so, Rich Bisaccia, our good old special teams coach, he's also the assistant head coach.
Yeah.
What if we make Rich Bisaccia go strictly to special teams? That way he's focusing nothing on special teams, and have Robert Saleh as an assistant head coach.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take. I mean,
I would be for that. I would be for that because, I just want to address a comment. So Delp said, got a dip, bro. Have a good stream. Y'all have good takes. We'll definitely be back. Appreciate that, bro, even though I know you're probably out already. And then Derek Miller says he's there helping out, but he's not officially hired, but he's going to look to be hired. I don't know if he's hired, but the way Matt was talking, it seems like he's hired part-time. So, I mean, it's definitely to look into. I'm actually glad you brought up Rich Bisaccia, because Dude, there's a lot of people saying that he needs to go, and that's the first time I've heard it. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad take. However, he is known for special teams, right? So I think if that's what he's known for, I'm all for him just focusing on special teams and bringing in Solid to be the assistant coach. But if that does happen, Andrew, I don't think it'll happen this year. It would probably be next year.
Probably next year. Yeah. Yeah. It's just depending on where, because that's another thing we got to look at too. I was talking to my buddy about this. Like, it probably won't happen next year, maybe the year after. But if Jeff Hafley keeps his defensive stuff up with the Packers, he's going to get a head coaching job at some point.
Who?
Jeff Hafley.
Oh, yeah, he is. No, there's
so like I said, it might not be this upcoming year. Like, it might not be this upcoming year, or maybe the year after. It might be he might have 2 years stint with the Packers. But if he keeps it up, like this Packers defense is this good, he's definitely going to get a head coaching job. And then we're going to be back on that wagon searching for another defensive coordinator. So I mean,
which I wouldn't mind having Saleh.
Yeah. So unless Saleh gets a head coaching job, but I think it's going to take a minute for Saleh to get a head coaching job. I think he's going to have to go back to defensive coordinator, in my opinion, and then get a head coaching job. Maybe that's what I think. But
which at times I do feel like that's a better fit for Saleh, defensive coordinator. But once you get that taste of head coaching, that's all you want to do. That's all you want to do. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. I do think Saleh should just ride out this year with the Packers. I mean, if he chooses to move on, he chooses to move on. Because I heard Colin Cowherd say that the Packers don't even need him, and I kind of agree with that. Like what we got going on is cool, man. Like, we don't need Saleh. But I also saw another comment that said that the Jets get all of the Packers cast-offs while we get their smartest person in the room. And I agree with that. I think Robert Saleh was the best player there in the Jets organization. And then they just let him go. Like if he doesn't know football. And then we pick him up. And I thought it was very, very good on the floor. And, Andrew, like you could tell, you just observe the Packers and they want to win right now, right? Like you see them make the move on the kicker. You see them bring in Saleh. Like they want to win now, and they know they can win now. So, I mean, we're going to see how it goes out. But, there's also talk about Hafley getting a head coaching job soon too. So we don't know how much longer he's going to be in the.
Yeah, like I said, I think he at least has another year, maybe two, as a defense. Because I mean, I think you have to prove yourself a little bit longer in the league as a defense coordinator. I mean, I hear you're not going to go out and get it on your first stint in the NFL. I know he was a head coach in college, but we've seen all the time college coaches go to the NFL and not do well. So I think he's going to have to keep proving it for at least 2 years, minimal. But it looks like if he does, he will get a head coaching job at some point. But what about so I think the trade deadline is coming up. You see us getting anybody?
I'm gonna touch on that. Just let me touch on this comment. Someone said I'm a Raiders fan. What did the other guy say? Oh, Carter says he's going to the game. I think he meant the game in Jacksonville. That should be cool, man. And then Nico says I'm back. Welcome back. All right. That's all the comments for now. Nothing on YouTube. All right. So trade deadline. I don't know about getting Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, but
I don't think it's gonna happen. But I mean, it would be nice, but.
The only reason why I don't think it's realistic is because the Packers would have to give up more than what they want.
Yeah, and the Packers are draft and build type team. They're not really making those trades. I mean, the Xavier McKinney thing was kind of out of their norm, signing them free agency, right?
Well, it wasn't just him; it was Josh Jacobs.
So that was out of the norm for the Packers. They normally draft, build. They don't normally. Trade and stuff like that too often. So that Matt Crosby and Myles Garrett, I don't think is realistic at all.
Yeah, we do have cap space too, though. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, I think if the trade did go down, I think they would want more than just picks. I think they would want players, and I don't think the Packers are going to give up players.
Yeah, you know who I would want to kind of how I thought about. That could help this defense as well. Lattimore from the Saints, the cornerback from the Saints. Saints are not really doing too much. They're probably gonna be looking for a pick. Lattimore's a little bit older corner, so he probably won't cost that much, but he's still a great outside corner to put on the opposite side of Jair. I think that would be a great move for us to do. Now, I don't know how much that's going to give up, or even if the Saints are even looking at that. But that's somebody I was like, man, if we can get somebody like that, like maybe to help out, that's so. Even though Keyshawn's been doing good on the outside for us, I think Lattimore's still a notch above Keyshawn, so that would help out a lot.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, on the opposite side of the ball, what else do you think we would need? I don't think we need. I mean, depth at lineman, offensive line, that would probably be the next thing to go to, in my opinion. But so the defensive side of the ball is where we would need to get.
Yeah. When does Marshawn Lowy come back?
I think he's supposed to be able to come back now, but I don't know if he was supposed to be able to start practicing last week, but I don't know if he was or not.
Okay. Well, there's also talk about the Myles Garrett trade. There was talk about coming in a package with Myles Garrett and one of their cornerbacks. Did you hear about that?
Nuh-uh.
I think his name is Newman the second, or but to be honest, I don't know much about the guy, but supposedly he's a stud cornerback on the Browns, and they were saying him and Myles Garrett coming to the Packers in a trade deal, but part of that trade deal is getting rid of Rashawn Gary, and I kind of don't see that. I think they said they would want Preston and Rashawn. I don't see that happening, dude.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like Rashawn. He's starting to play better, so I don't. So I don't.
Dude, did you see how Hafley was like? He'll start off at the end, and then he'll come around and go in the middle.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Dude, I was like, dude, that's fucking clever. And like the fact that Rashawn Gary is getting home on that too, like he's not the fastest, but like he was still getting home. He was getting on CJ Stroud's butt, man. And I was like, dude, like Jeff Hafley's in his bag, man. He knows what he's doing. So like I kind of don't feel like these moves need to be made, Andrew, because and to be honest, Andrew, I'm only making that move if like for sure we're going to the Super Bowl, because if we make those moves and you lose in the NFC conference, like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Like I said, the only move I can see making, or I would want them to make, would be the cornerback, because pushing Eric Stokes out there is kind of bad at this point. Eric Stokes is so bad right now. He's so bad right now. Ever since his injury, he has not been the same since his rookie year. And so I was like, man, if we can get somebody else opposite of Jair on the outside, that would make this defense that much better. So, like I said, they've been on some of the packages that they've been doing. They've been moving Keyshawn to the outside, bringing Bullard up in the slot, and having Evan Williams at the top safety, opposite of McKinney, and that's been working. But when they're, I don't know if it's their base defense, but when they're on the base defense and Eric Stokes is on the outside, I feel like he's always getting burnt, or he's just getting beat all the time. So, yeah, I don't think Eric Stokes is going to be that guy for us anymore.
Yeah, well, hold on, we got a guess, but I don't know. It's not letting them come up. Hey, Noah, for some reason it's not letting you come up, so go ahead. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. All right. All right. Hey, Noah, I'm going to drop you and then try to come back up. Okay, so as far as Stokes, I don't know if he should be benched, but it is a little concerning. But for some reason, I don't see opposing quarterbacks, like pick on him all game long, though. Like if they were picking on him all game long, then that tells me they know he's a weakness on the defense. But the fact that they're not really picking on him all game long kind of shows me I'm not really giving up on Stokes yet. but I will be honest, I don't trust them like every play, right? Like there's some times where like the defense has a 3rd and 5 and he'll give up like an easy slant play for a first down. I mean,
Yeah,
there's times where he gets beat, yeah, but with as good as the defense is playing, it's kind of like you can accept that. But at the same time, though, I kind of agree it shouldn't be overlooked. Like, but I mean, right now, who are you going to put there right now? Valentine? I mean, isn't he injured?
I don't know if he's injured, but he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing. So
I don't know why that is. I mean, because he first couple games of the season when they were hurt at corner, I feel like he played good corner, but I don't know. Ever since, I mean, I don't know what the issue is with him.
yeah, D said we're gonna dust them, bro. Yeah, we should. We should.
Yeah.
We should for sure. But it's NFL. Anything can happen. I got another guest. Let's see if he wants to come up. What's D's guy? Yo, what's up? Hello. Oh, he got off. Okay. All right. So what else you got, Andrew?
Uh, hold on. I'm trying to look at the injury report real quick.
It looks good. I think I glanced at it yesterday. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I mean, the only doubtful was Corey Ballantyne, so and he has an ankle. Um, I don't know. Is Quay still in the concussion protocol?
He's
He's listed as questionable, but looks like he practiced Thursday
he,
and Friday.
he's questionable. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted we didn't touch on this either on the post game on Sunday. But dude, the defense played so great and Quay wasn't even playing, dude.
Yeah, but I think they missed him though. I think a lot of those runs.
Mm,
I think Quay would have helped out on that. As much as we complain about Quay and stuff, I think he would have helped out on some of those massive runs that Joe Mixon had. But yes, you're right. Like I mean, Eric Wilson had a game.
oh my God, yeah.
Eric Wilson had a game. So and that's just I mean that just shows you how good Halfley is with these guys right now.
Yeah.
You can kind of plug in anybody and they kind of step up at any given. I mean, Evan Williams a couple weeks ago started stepping up and now he's getting a lot more playing time. Eric Wilson stepped up last week when Quay went down, monster game. Quay. Like I said, I'm rooting for Quay because I am a Quay fan. He does struggle at times, but I think they did miss him. I didn't get to watch. I haven't rewatched the game on TV, so I only could see it when I was there. But it did look like they were missing him a lot on some of those runs those big games that Mixon had. So
Yeah. Hold on. So Perk Rogers says, "Go Pack, go." Zuver says Eric Wilson needs to play more. What do you think about that?
I mean, but I agree. But who are you going to take off the field?
Yeah, you have to take off someone.
I mean, if Quay doesn't play this week, he's definitely going to play more, right? But if that means you're saying bring Quay off the field, okay, but
I'll be honest. I thought when Quay went out, I thought it was going to be Edgerrin Cooper and McDuffie. That's who I thought they were going to roll with.
Well,
But
McDuffie, they were rotating out, right? It seemed like they were.
I'll be honest. I wasn't playing
Cooper and Wilson majority of the time.
I think so, but Wilson had a game against the Colts too. Like he had a pick in that game, and I think he had a sack in that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, Wilson, yeah, Wilson's a stud. I mean, they all can play. That's the thing. They all can play, and like you can tell that Halfley trusts his players. Last year, bro, I'll be honest. I don't think Joe Barry trusted our defense, man.
I don't think Joe Barry knew how to utilize our players. I think that was it.
I don't think he trusted himself.
Yeah. I think we have an aggressive defense of players that are really aggressive, and that's not the style Joe Barry wants to play or wanted to play, and that's the results we got. Now you got Halfley, who's an aggressive defensive player caller with aggressive defensive players, and you're getting the results that you were expecting. So Like I said, Eric Wilson. I agree. I want him out there more, but I just don't know who you're gonna take out because I want Adrian Cooper out there more too.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I like Quay too.
I mean, I guess McDuffie, but McDuffie. I mean, that's the only person I would say like just less his snaps is McDuffie. But McDuffie's. I mean, he's one of those role players that will make a play from time to time for you when you need it.
Yeah. But I think, and if you really think about it, I don't know. Like it's either our line or the linebackers that's the weak part of the defense. I actually think the secondary is pretty good. Like
I mean,
especially
if we're gonna say like,
thank you for liking.
it's kind of hard to say because going into this offseason, we all thought our majority of I think Packer fans thought our strength was going to be the line, the defensive line. Through 7 weeks or whatever we're through now, we can say that well that's not our strength. Now they've gotten better, but they're not our strength. I want to say you're right. It might be our secondaries our strength. I think our linebacking core is still our weakest part. But
yeah, well, see, here's the thing: we can sit here and say the linebackers is the weakest, and I wouldn't argue with that. But when we bring 5 or more people, we're so dominant at that, and that 5th person is a linebacker most of the time. So I mean, yeah, they might be the weakest, but when you bring them on a blitz, they actually don't look bad. So
yeah, well, yeah, but I mean that's the I guess that's the caveat of being a linebacker. You do bring pressure, but you also got to be able to drop back and guard that middle zone a lot. And that's where when we give up a lot to the tight ends in the middle, it's usually because our linebackers are either not in the right position or a step too slow or whatever the case may be. So I don't know.
And sometimes what I think it is like those like when the linebackers do drop back and they do hit something over the middle of the field, the window is tight, right? And
for sure.
If you observe Quay, like he leaves it open. Like it's kind of like if he doesn't trust the quarterback to make the throw, but then the quarterback will make the throw, and even though it's tight,
okay.
it's
I'm glad you said that. Do you feel like Quay tries to bait the quarterback to throw it to that middle and thinking Quay's going to get there? Like Quay himself is like, I dare you to go here. I can get there if I need to. And then the quarterback does throw it, and Quay realizes, oh shit, that was a fastball.
Yeah,
can't get to it. Because I agree with that too because I've seen that. Who was it? Was it It might have been there were definitely the Cardinals because McBride went off, but it was a game before that. It had to be the Titans or Colts, where I thought, man, Quay is just getting destroyed. But then I rewatched it, and it felt like he was stepping away, and then like if you watch, and then kind of coming back, trying to like, hey, throw it here, and then I'm gonna get it, but he never could get it. So I don't
know. Yeah, but, no, yeah, I do think that. I don't think he should play with fire like that though. Just
I mean, these are NFL quarterbacks, man. Like they're not all gonna throw up ducks.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a tight window, but like they can make that throw easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of a pitch and catch. It's just a pitch and catch in a short window, and I do think he needs to clean that up because if he does close that window, 9 times out of 10, the quarterback's not gonna know where to go with the ball, right?
Yeah.
And even if they do look at another read, that's gonna take time. I mean, it gives you more time to get to the quarterback. But I did notice that. But like the good thing is, Andrew, like we're tackling a lot better. Like you don't see a lot of missed tackles like last year.
Not too much. Not like the past years.
Yeah, I mean, I think week 1 was pretty bad. But I think the field might have had a little bit to do with that. But
ever since first game of the season, I mean, when your players don't play a lot during preseason, you're still in preseason more in week 1. So like I said, this game, if this game is close, I'll be disappointed. Like, even if we win,
I wouldn't be disappointed with
if we win by 3 points. I would definitely be. I mean, I'll be happy that we won, but I'll be like this. I will come in here on the recap and have a lot of criticisms because that's I mean, like I said, it's any given Sunday. Jacksonville is an NFL team, so they get paid to do the same job. But come on, man, like Like if we're trying to beat the best teams, we got to beat these teams that are not so good, almost dominantly, like 10+ points at least.
Yeah, we got to guess. Let's bring them up real fast before I move on. Yo, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
Nothing. I just saw Packers and Jaguars preview, and you are going to clap them terribly.
We should, man. We should, but you never know. It's the NFL. Anything can happen. But yeah, I think if we play all 4 quarters instead of like 2 quarters, if as long as we show up, yeah, we should get the win.
Like I said, don't play down to the competition. That's my thing.
Yeah.
You came up before. Who do you like?
Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, Bucks fan. All right. Yeah, man, we should get the win. Who do y'all got this weekend?
Falcons at 1:00.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
And now with Godwin gone.
Yeah.
What did you think about that Monday night game?
Yeah, it's Lamar Jackson and Henry, man. You know, we couldn't play the read option. Our defense was atrocious. Our offense was decent. You know, we got a call back on a Godwin touchdown. Evans dropped a pass when we got injured.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things.
I remember, I don't know if it was with you or another Bucks fan, but I said the reason why I like the Bucks is because y'all are very scary with Evans and Godwin, and then both of them went down.
Yep.
Are they out for the season?
Godwin is.
Mike's out till week 12. Godwin's out for the season because he dislocated his ankle and needs surgery.
Oh man, that's brutal. Damn.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
Dang, and y'all got, like, after the Falcons, y'all got the Chiefs, the Niners.
Yeah, we're literally just the Niners, I feel like we have a decent chance because it's not like they're also pretty much stacked in IR right now as well.
Yeah, I actually have I've actually heard a lot of people say that they already have the Niners missing the playoffs. I was like, damn, that's pretty. I don't know about that, man. Because if you have the Niners missing the playoffs, you're saying the Seahawks are gonna ride into the playoffs, and I don't see that happening.
Or the Rams look good, man. They can come back and.
What are they? 3-4?
3-4? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they're 3-4. They're only 1 game out. The Cardinals don't look bad either. They're not a good team, but they're a decent team. I know a lot of people don't like the Cardinals. I mean, I don't like them either, but I don't think they're as bad as what people think.
I mean, they're not, but they're not. Like I said, they're not up there. Like I said, I think the Rams, like, they look good against the Vikings, man. With Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back, it seemed like that's all they were freaking missing on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't sleep on them. They might make a comeback. I was like, man.
Yeah. Someone said, why are people sleeping on Green Bay this Sunday? Probably because of what you said, Andrew. It's a trap game. I don't know.
Yeah, at least I know a lot of teams, they kind of has them under control, like week by week type basis. But, you know, we're all kind of humans and nature of habit. Like, oh, we got the Jags. That's easy. You know, we got Detroit coming up. You know, we're going to be like trying to get hyped for the Detroit game before we play the Jaguar game. So I can see that happening. And I hate calling it a trap game because, like, they're professional athletes. They should take the week by week. Look who you're playing now. Don't look too far ahead. But it happens. I mean, you see upsets like this all the time, right? But like I said, I think Matt has that locker room under control to where they're not even looking at Detroit just yet. They're still focusing on Jacksonville right now. So,
yeah. All right, we got Zach. What's up, Zach?
Guys, how goes it?
Yo, what's up?
I said, how goes it, guys?
Oh, it's going good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. It's been a minute. My phone wasn't telling me. I have your live notifications on, and it wasn't giving me the notifications. I had to go turn them off and turn them on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, what's up, man? So, what's your take on the game this Sunday?
I mean, I think we should probably walk away with the win. The Jaguars looked not so great.
So I'm gonna put some money on the Packers winning. So I hope they win. But we'll see. Like you were just saying, every time you think it's an easy win, you see upsets like this all the time. Week 2 of the Minnesota schedule, Niners were supposed to win that game all day long, and that was an upset. And then you look at last season, we were supposed to lose against the Chiefs last year, and then we upset them. So you see unfortunate things like this. But I think the Pack got it. I honestly think they're going to win the division this year. Everything's looking really good. I like where Jordan Love's at. Tied for number 2 in passing touchdowns right now. And he's missed 2 games. So had he been healthy those 2 games, he's probably leading the league in passing touchdowns. But he's also probably leading them in interceptions. But he's a gunslinger prototype. So the staff knew that they were getting that when they got him.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen had an issue turning the ball over early in his career. He's fixed that. A lot of good quarterbacks had issues turning the ball over. Mahomes is having an issue turning the ball over this year. So it happens. And honestly, some of the things that Jordan Love's trying to do with the ball happens. Not every interception this season's been his fault either. There's been a couple that just come flying off the hands and they get picked up by another guy. There's been others that it was thrown into triple cover. What are you doing? But I think if he could kind of clean up some of the sillier stuff, we got a real chance this year. The defense is starting to come into its own here. Jay Love's throwing the rock like no one else has ever done it before, except for maybe Brett Favre,
Yeah, hold up, Zach. Hold up. Hey, Brandon, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate that. All right, go ahead, Zach.
So I think we got a good chance of winning the division this year. Unfortunately, Aiden Hutchinson took that injury. It was a really nasty injury to see. So obviously best to him, but with him out, and the Lions not really making any crazy moves to replace him with a guy similar to his caliber, that opens up a lot of things for Green Bay. Obviously, the Bears are coming off of a bye week, so I want to see where they're standing at after this week.
Yeah.
But I think it's a tough division no matter what happens, but the Pack really got a chance this year, I think.
Yeah. I think the Packers should win the division. Now, so we just had a comment. It said Lions run the North and the whole NFC. Now, if you ask me, I've said this for a while now. I think the Packers match up against the Lions very well. And I think the Lions know that the Packers line up against them very well. However, I will say, if people are saying that the Lions are the best team in the NFL right now, I'm okay with that statement. I think that's a fair statement. They've been dominating everyone, and they really have. They've been dominating everyone. But the thing is, they haven't played the Packers yet. So we're going to find out more or less who's going to be in control of that division after next week when we play them. We do play them next week, so, all eyes are going to be on that game. Now, going back to the Jags a little bit, like I said, it's just one of those games where, like, if we turn the ball over or instead of playing 4 quarters, we only play 2, you're going to keep the Jags in the game. And, Andrew said, like always playing down to the competition. Well, last year, we had Vito with the Giants. Their backup quarterback beat us, right? 24-22, Tommy DeVito. And then later on, you barely beat the Panthers, 33-30. So, there are times where we do play down. But the only difference is this year, I feel like the Packers they're not coached the same that they were last year. I think this year they're coached a lot better to the point where they're not going to allow that to happen. I'll be shocked if the Jags stay in the game. Like, I will be very shocked, especially if Trevor Lawrence is not having a good game. If he is not having a good game and somehow they're still in it, I'm on board with you, Andrew, that there has to be some kind of criticism there. What do you want to say, Andrew?
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see kind of where y'all are at on score predictions. Like, what do y'all have the Packers winning by, or scores, stuff like that?
I kind of see I'll let you go, Zach. Let me just go first. I kind of see something like a 30-17, 31-17.
Okay. kind of in that same boat. I'm hoping like 28-13. Because I'm predicting a turnover in a bad situation that lets them put up either 7 or 3 points, kind of like last week against the Texans. Like look at how we did with C.J. Stroud. We held him to under 100 yards. One of our receivers had more yards than he had. I think it was Romeo Doubs had more yards than C.J. Stroud had. And I'm foreseeing that we do something similar here to Trevor Lawrence that lets him put up 7 or 3. Then there's going to be one drive where we don't have a sustained offensive drive. Defense is kind of tired. Maybe Xavier McKinney's a little tired because he just marched halfway down the field. Then we did a 3-and-out. Now he's got to do it again. So they throw deep one time, get a chunk play on us. So there's definitely going to be a couple field goals, especially with the new kickoff rule where it comes up to the 30-yard line instantly. You only really need a chunk play and a first down to get in scoring range now. Probably 13 points are almost guaranteed. Hopefully 45-13 is what I'm hoping for.
All right, Andrew?
Yeah, so I was in about the 28 to 30 points for the Packers. So like 30, I was only say like 10 points for the Jaguars. And I agree. I think Jordan's going to have one of those throws where he almost chunks it up and it gets picked. And that's how they kind of get their score. As far as the touchdown. So I see it like 30-10, 30-14, something like that. But if they score more than 14 points, I think I'll be very shocked.
Yeah, well, the good news is no one's really going deep on McKinney anymore. So it's going to be tough for them to score a lot of points, right? If you want to score a lot of points, you got to throw the ball down the field. I think like a lot of people are not really doing that against the Packers anymore once they saw McKinney pick up the ball 5 times in 5 games. But Zach, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Robert Saleh coming in?
No, I actually like that. Yeah, I like they say they got him in a fluid role. LaFleur said he's helping him. He's got a great defensive mind, so he's helping him attack defenses. And I think there's been a lot of great defensive coaches who have helped out other teams' offensive game planning, and have had a lot of its success doing that. I never thought Saleh was the problem in New York. I didn't think Saleh was the problem in New York when he got fired. And I always respected him as a defensive coach throughout his whole career. And so him coming over here, whether or not to just workshop with some of the defensive boys, just talk about footwork and hand placement, or if it's to be in LaFleur's ear and help him up with his screen time so he's spending less time on the iPad, and getting a good attack. I mean, he should be able to, look at Jacksonville's defense and be like, this is the coverage they sit in. This is the coverage they're probably going to sit in because you got Jordan Love. And this is what they're going to expect you to do. And if you kind of do this and that every so often, they're going to have to react to that. And if they react this way, do that. Or if they react that way, do this.
Yeah.
And I think he can be a really good asset on our team, helping out.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on that too because I wanted to ask you guys a question because I personally feel that the Texans defense played our offense very well. Like I think they played our offense the best out of any opponent so far. Like even if you look at the reverses we ran against the Texans, they were never there. They got stopped in the backfield. Like the Texans were on it, and then they forced Love to make throws into short windows. You saw that on the first interception. I think the second interception, I think that's all on Jordan Love. He had a smooth pocket. No one was rushing him. And I think Watson had separation, and Jordan Love just overthrew him. Like, I think that was a very bad pick on Jay Love. But I think the defense played Jordan Love in this offense very well. Like, I think they had the Texans had one slip up on that touchdown to Wicks, that deep touchdown to Wicks. Like, I think there was talk, like they were thinking about challenging the play before, and the Packers just got up to the line and threw a deep touchdown to Wicks. So that was one play where that Texans defense was caught sleeping. But aside from that, I think they played us very well. And I think it just tells how good the Packers are because we still found a way to win, man. And like I said, we had 3 turnovers. That just tells you how good their defense played. My question, like, it's not really a question, but like, I guess like with how good the Texans played us, I think it is good to bring in Saleh, and because I think I think LaFleur is probably talking to Saleh like, man, there was times where I didn't know what to do against that Texans defense. And I mean, it kind of looked like that too. There was times where we couldn't really move the ball. Now, thankfully, they couldn't move the ball either. But I mean, are we going to rely on the defense to have that type of game every game? Nah, man. I think I would like our offense to move down the field at least consistently throughout the game. I think this was a very defensive ball game, especially in the second half. But I think it's good for Saleh to come in. But
no, that like you said, the Texans defense was good. They're a fast defense. I said, being there live, watching them go to the ball, I thought they were super fast to the ball. Even with missing some of their corners and linebackers, they are a well coached defense. D'Amico has that team going on all cylinders. I agree. Like, I think we can't rely on our defense to do that game in and game out. Like, our offense does have to stay on the field, control the ball, so our defense can get breaks at times. I feel like if we start doing that, our defense is going to start breaking down because, one, they're going to be too tired. 2, they're going to have to change in and out the tired people with backups and stuff like that, and that's how you get burnt. Yeah. So the offense is definitely going to have to figure it out and stay on the field more often than not. I mean, that goes to say with anything, but that Texans defense is good.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all this: Matt LaFleur was asked about Jordan Love looking like Brett Favre, and Matt LaFleur did not like that. He got very upset that people were comparing him to Brett Favre. And the reason, I didn't like that he got mad. I was like, come on, LaFleur, like, that's fan talk. Like, it's not team talk, it's fan talk. And like, honestly, I think it's a very fair comparison right now. Like, I don't think it's a bad comparison. And at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be compared to Favre. Like, aside from the interceptions, like, it's not a bad thing to be compared to Favre. However,
I don't get the like, people are saying, oh my God, he looks like Favre. Like, it's a bad thing. Like, I don't understand. Favre was a Super Bowl champ, been to Super Bowl twice, an MVP, league MVP. Like, yeah, he has the interceptions, but if you're telling me Jordan's going to have that career, I think I would take that, to be honest with you. Now, I would want more Super Bowls, but I mean,
well, okay. Do you and Zach think it's fair to say if he would just protect the ball a little bit better, he will have more Super Bowls? I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah. Even if he doesn't, I don't. This team is so good right now that I don't know. Like, I know it's hard to get to multiple Super Bowls. As we saw, we had one of the best quarterbacks ever in Aaron Rodgers, and we only went to 1 Super Bowl. But if we have this type of style of team, I definitely think he can go to more Super Bowls.
Yeah. What do you want to say on that, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, it's pretty football 101 to know that if you win the turnover differential every game, you win every game. And if you're losing the turnover differential, it's really hard to win games. I think if Love protects the ball a little more, I think we have a defense that can set us up great to get us at least more Super Bowl appearances. Whether or not we win or not, I mean, that just comes down to the game and who we're playing. But it gives us a better chance if he holds onto the ball. But being compared to Brett Favre is, I mean, what other comparison would you want other than Brady, Aaron Rodgers, some of the, Joe Montana, Brett Favre was one of the greatest gunslingers of all time, and that's kind of the prototype Jordan Love is. He chucks the ball hard, and sometimes it gets picked. More often than not, or more often than it should be, it gets picked.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can't really be upset about the comparison when he's throwing the rock like Brett Favre did, and Brett Favre was a great quarterback, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Hold on, just let me address this. Hey, Christy, I've been good. Hope you're doing good, too. I think we had another guest at Raiders Nation, but I guess he dropped out. Yeah, so like my only concern with the picks is I just don't want to see bad picks. Like the pick six when he was playing against the Rams. That's a terrible pick. The pick with Watson last week. That's a terrible pick. I mean, you have a smooth pocket. Watson had separation. Dude, you got to make that throw. Like I can live with the picks, just not bad picks. And like I guess the only thing that concerns me is this is the first year where we have a good defense. I don't want it to go to waste. I don't think anyone wants it to go to waste. And if you're going to be turning the ball over all the time, maybe it might go to waste. But like I said, we're 5-2. And Jordan Love is just going to get better. It's just, I personally think if he would just calm down on the picks, we would be I want to say unstoppable, but we would be very hard to beat. And I think just protecting the ball a little bit, I do think Jordan Love has a lot of control over that. It's just that sometimes, he wants to sling it, and sometimes it does work, right? But
that's what I'm touch on right there. I of course all fans would like no turnover for a quarterback, right? That's the ideal thing. Not realistic. But I don't know if y'all were doing it, but I know I was doing it. Some of my friends that are Packers fans out here, we were talking about it. There was times in Aaron Rodgers' career, a lot of times in Aaron Rodgers' career, where we were telling this man to throw the fucking ball, and he would just take the sack because he didn't want to throw it up and let his receivers go to it. I like the fact that Jordan at least tries to get it to his receivers. No, like you said, the one against the Rams, that was horrible. You can't do that. But I like the fact that he doesn't just sit back there and take sacks so he doesn't throw the interception. Like if he feels like his receivers can go up and get it, sometimes I like that, right? The one that he threw to Dobbs against Arizona, I think, when he kind of just floated up there and Dobbs just made a stop and came back and got the ball. Like that's stuff I like. I mean, I prefer that. Like I said, you're gonna get the bad with the good, and I think majority of the time it's gonna be a good thing when Jordan Love throws the ball. I mean, look at the Tucker Kraft touchdown last week. That was a bullet, and that almost should have been picked, but it went right through the hands of the DB. And
well, if you see that play, Jordan Love knew where the safety was, and I think that safety was kind of like doing what Quay does, like kind of daring him to throw, and he did throw it. And I think the safety underestimated the arm that Jordan Love had.
Yeah, that was a bullet.
But like it was a good play by the safety, if you ask me. He was in good position. I think.
If you watch the still, the ball went directly through his hands.
Yeah, and like I think that's one of the things where, as a defensive coach, you got to be okay with that touchdown because I thought it was a good call. The safety was in good position. It's just that
Jordan made the throw, and that's what you're going to get with Jordan. You're going to get those type of throws where he bullets them, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't like I said the ugly interceptions. Yeah, we got to get rid of those. But I mean, the fact that he's leading the league or tied for league in interceptions, people are like, does that bother you? It's like no. As long as we're winning games, and he is also leading the league in touchdown passes. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Andrew. If you're throwing that many picks, I think you do need to get criticized a little bit. Like what gets me mad is not so much that people are mad that people are criticizing Love. I'm mad that no one's criticizing Mahomes. Mahomes is doing terrible too, but no one wants to criticize Mahomes. Like,
well, yeah, 6 touchdowns. That's the thing is he has the same almost the same amount of interceptions or close to. I'm not.
They have the same amount. They have the same amount.
He only has 6 touchdown passes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are people not criticizing Mahomes? Like, I don't get it. Like, I do think Love's criticism is fair. Like I do, the interception part at least. Like, but when you criticize Love for his interceptions, it's not like you're saying, "Oh, the guy needs to be benched or he's trash." No, it just means, "Hey, bro, protect the ball." Like no one thinks that Jordan Love is trash. No one. Well, actually, I guess there are people out there that think that, but like it's mainly like Vikings and Bears fans.
Okay, so there's three picks off the top of my head that I don't like. All the other picks, it's whatever with. I can name them off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The Rams one, the Vikings one when he threw up to the Dante, like it was where he threw up to Wicks and it was just floated up there. And then the Texans one that you just mentioned. Those are the 3 off the top of my head that I can like. Oh, those were bad interceptions. I think all the other ones were okay. It happens, right? So if you're telling me out of all those touchdowns, we have problems with 3 of those interceptions, I like I said, I'm for it, man. Like I said, not for interceptions, but like we're winning ball games. He leads the league in touchdowns. Just keep it rolling.
Do you think? Now, see, here's another thing too. We're 5-2. Do you think if Jordan Love doesn't throw all those picks, do you think we're undefeated? I wouldn't say so much the Eagles game, but maybe the Vikings game. I think the Vikings game we could have won if he didn't throw 3 picks. Maybe not the Eagles though. I think he threw 1 against the Eagles, but I don't think that
I don't think we would have won that game. The Vikings, I mean, you could say that, but there's a lot of things you could say about that game that while we lost. I mean, and to be honest with you, we could have won that game even with his 3 picks, if we're being honest.
I also think too, you got to protect the ball when you're on your side of the field, right? Like for example, like the Packers defense gave up 10 points on 2 possessions against the Titans or against the Titans when the Texans started 2 of their possessions on the Packers 11. Some of that was because of the offense throwing a pick. And then I forgot
one was special teams,
and then the special teams. Okay, that's not on Love, but you see, like that's too much pressure on the defense. And then what is everyone talking about? Oh, the Packers gave up 30+ points on defense. Well, no, Jordan Love threw a pick. Special teams did this. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the criticism does go overlooked, and it gets dumped on the defense, and I don't like that because we do have a good defense, and ask any professional defense to make a stop with 0 points when they start on year 11. Like no one's going to do that.
I mean, that's content. That's just people looking at the score and not watching the actual game.
Yeah.
So that type of criticism, like I said, if they say that and they actually watch the game, then I kind of want to have that conversation with them. But I feel like a lot of people just look at the score and say, "Oh, the Packers gave up that many points," when they probably did. They didn't see the context of what happened, why they gave up that many points. Because I agree, like if you give the ball up in your own territory, 9 times out of 10, score is going to happen, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, right? Yeah. And you can't ask your defense to stop that every single time. Yeah. Especially against good offenses. The Texans are a good offense. Yeah, they held CJ to 86 yards, but the Texans that's a good team. So.
Yeah, I mean. We'll see. I think you can have a no turnover game against the Jags. I think it's very doable.
It's possible. I have a feeling he's going to throw one of those bombs to try to get to somebody, and it might get picked. But could not be. I mean,
we'll see. We'll find out in less than 24 hours. But all right, guys, that's all I got. You got anything else, Andrew?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, guys. So we are also thinking about going live for the game tomorrow. So you can tune in for that. That's all I got too, man.
We'll do a recap tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll go live for the game and also do a recap. We're gonna go live for the game as long as we could get both of our TVs set at the same time. But if not, then I don't know. We probably won't do it, but we're gonna try. So all right, guys, thank you for joining. See y'all tomorrow.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.